Chosen one, this moment has been waiting for you. The awakening is not some distant event, it is happening now. You've felt it, haven't you? That fire deep in your spirit, the overwhelming sense that something far beyond your control is stirring within you. That is not random, that is divine activation. God Himself is calling you. This is not the time for hesitation. What I'm about to share is not for the faint-hearted, but for those with the courage to face it. You are being set apart, marked for greatness in a way that others simply won't understand. The world is about to shift, and the spiritual tide is rising around you, ready to pull you into the destiny you've been waiting for. And make no mistake, this is your moment. God's chosen ones, you are not here by accident. You've been handpicked for such a time as this. The madness you feel isn't a curse, it's a breakthrough, and it's only just beginning. You are about to be catapulted into a reality where dreams become the new standard, where your very essence will resonate with the energy of purpose and power. But you must remain grounded. This storm of transformation, though overwhelming, is not here to break you. It is here to shape you, to fortify you. You are stronger than the storm, and you have been chosen to rise above it. As you step into this awakening, remember, you are not alone. This journey is a collective one. We are all here, together, walking this sacred path. The struggles you faced, the solitude you felt, it was never for nothing. It was part of your preparation, part of the divine blueprint. Now, I ask you, are you ready to claim your power, to embrace the madness and emerge victorious? Drop a 777 inches the comments below, because it is time for you to step into your purpose, and the universe is watching. Smash that like button, subscribe, and let's walk this journey together as the chosen ones of this hour. Your transformation begins now. Are you prepared to become who you were always meant to be? God's chosen ones, the awakening has begun. Here's how to stay grounded. There are moments in history when the ordinary world trembles under the weight of the extraordinary. A veil between the seen and unseen, thin as gossamer, begins to dissolve, and a potent force surges through the hearts and minds of those who are ready to receive it. This force is not born from mere chance, nor is it a fleeting whisper in the wind. It is God's message, both urgent and clear. It carries a deep call to awareness, a call that cannot be ignored, a call that you, chosen one, are already sensing in the very depths of your soul. What does it mean to you to sense that you are chosen for this moment? What has awakened in you that you had not noticed before? A great wave of transformation is about to unfold, one that will shake the foundations of everything you have known. This wave is not just a symbolic idea, it represents a real, profound shift. The spiritual energy moving through the world will cause personal upheaval, collective awakening, and societal shifts. The wave is a force that will test your inner strength, heighten your awareness, and call you to action. What personal transformations do you feel are already taking place in your life as you read these words? How can you prepare for the wave that's coming? This is not mere hype, nor a prediction to be taken lightly. This is a sacred warning, a moment of divine urgency. Every sensitive soul will feel it deep within themselves, as though reality itself is shifting beneath their feet, creating a tremor that stirs something far beyond the physical. The earth is the Lord's, and everything in it, the world, and all who live in it. Psalm 24:1. This moment is not random. It is part of God's divine plan, a plan that has always been in motion, even before the creation of the world. Imagine this moment as a sky that suddenly darkens not because of clouds, but because a spiritual storm is gathering, a storm of divine energy that roars with power and disrupts your inner peace. It is not a storm caused by nature, but one created by the very hand of God, a surge that rises from the depths of the unseen. The voice of the Lord is over the waters. The God of glory thunders. The Lord thunders over the mighty waters. Psalm 29:3. This wave is not simply a metaphor for turbulence in the world, but a literal spiritual force that will affect every part of your being, shaking you to the core. This madness, this awakening, will not be limited to just a few. It will ripple across the globe, touching every home, every corner, and every heart that is willing to open itself to this divine call. The intensity of this wave will overwhelm many, but you, the chosen ones, are being given an early warning so that you may stand firm amidst the storm. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. Jeremiah 29:11. This is not a time for fear. It is a time for preparation, a time for you to gather your strength, both spiritually and mentally. To prepare, take time each day to center yourself. Begin by creating space for stillness, whether through prayer, meditation, or simply being in quiet reflection. These moments of connection with the divine will serve as your anchor during the upcoming spiritual storm. Reach into your inner resources of peace and strength, knowing that these practices will help ground you when the chaos begins to unfold. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. The wave will come, there is no doubt. It will be powerful, overwhelming, and at times even terrifying. But it will also bring revelation, the unveiling of truths that have been hidden behind veils of ignorance and deception. You will see what has been concealed, not just in the world, but in your own heart. And you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. John 8:32. In the midst of the chaos, divine clarity will emerge. But only those who are prepared, those who have embraced the calling, will be able to stand firm and navigate through the storm unscathed. Imagine a vast wave, not of water, but of pure spiritual energy, crashing across the world, washing over every soul it touches. This is no mere metaphor. This is a force that will upheave the patterns of your life, pushing humanity into a heightened state of awareness. The Spirit of the Lord will rest on him, the Spirit of wisdom and of understanding, the Spirit of counsel and of might, the Spirit of the knowledge and fear of the Lord. Isaiah 11:2. This energy will awaken in you a deeper understanding of your purpose, of the mysteries that have long been hidden in plain sight. It will challenge you to see the world with new eyes, eyes that no longer see through the veil of illusion, but through the clarity of divine truth. What makes this wave unique is its universal reach. This is not a localized event. It will touch every land, every community, every person, regardless of their background or belief. This is the power of the divine, not just working in isolated pockets, but sweeping across the entire human race, calling every heart to awaken. You may feel this surge in your body, your mind, your spirit. It will push you to look deeper, to ask the hard questions, to confront the darkness both in the world and within yourself. In the last days, God says, I will pour out my Spirit on all people. Acts 2:17. As this spiritual storm gathers strength, the world will change. And as the chosen ones, you will stand at the forefront of this change, not because of anything you have done, but because you have been called for such a time as this. You are being given the opportunity to navigate through the madness with clarity, with wisdom, and with peace. But to do so, you must stay grounded. What does it mean to you to stay grounded in the midst of such a powerful spiritual awakening? What practices can you adopt to ensure you remain centered? You must remember who you are. Remember that this awakening is not for chaos, but for the fulfillment of God's divine will. You were created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. Ephesians 2:10. Your essence, your soul's purpose, has always been a part of you. As you awaken to that truth, trust in the wisdom and guidance that has always resided within you. You are not becoming someone you are not. You are becoming who you've always been, the person God intended you to be. Lastly, stay rooted in community. While the path of awakening is deeply personal, it is also collective. We are all walking this journey together, each of us called to contribute our light to the greater whole. Your story, your experience, is part of a much larger divine plan. As you continue to evolve, make sure to share your journey with others. Reach out to those who are also awakening and offer your support, guidance, and love. Let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds. Hebrews 10:24. This is not just about your awakening, it's about the awakening of the collective. The more we share, the more we grow, and the stronger our light becomes. As you move forward, remember that the mystery you carry is not a burden, it is a blessing. It is a divine gift, entrusted to you because you are ready. You are the one who can walk this path and remain grounded, no matter the circumstances. The world may change, but the truth that has been woven into your soul is eternal. You are chosen for such a time as this, and now it is time to rise. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Philippians 4:13. Take a moment to reflect on your journey. What does this awakening mean for you? How will you stay grounded as you walk into the fullness of your purpose? The world is waiting for your light, chosen one. Stay rooted, stay true, and let the divine current guide you forward. It doesn't matter where you are, who you are, or what you've experienced up until now. The wave of divine energy that is surging through the earth has no regard for your geography, culture, or status. It doesn't discriminate. It will touch everyone who is spiritually connected, and each person will feel its impact in their own way. For some, it may come in the form of emotional explosions, moments of intense, overwhelming feeling. For others, it might manifest as a deep hunger, an insatiable longing for something more, something beyond this world. Some will feel restless, caught in a state of yearning, searching for answers to questions they may not even have yet. Regardless of how it presents itself, one thing is certain: no one will walk away unchanged. For the earth will be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord as the waters cover the sea. Habakkuk 2:14. This is not a coincidence. It is not just a shift in energy. It is a divine, cosmic alignment, a force orchestrated by God Himself to elevate human consciousness to new heights. This awakening is both a test and a gift, a chance to access the purest spiritual power that has ever been given to humanity. And yet, it is not gentle, it is wild. The wind blows wherever it pleases. You hear its sound, but you cannot tell where it comes from or where it is going. John 3:8. This wave of spiritual energy will not wait for you to be ready. It demands engagement. It will shake the strongest foundations you have built in your life. This storm, this divine upheaval, will not only change the world around you, but will force you to face yourself. Your faith, your beliefs, your purpose, all will be tested. The question is, will you stand firm in your identity as a chosen one, or will you be swept away by the intensity of this divine storm? To be chosen is both a blessing and a burden, for it brings a responsibility that many do not fully understand. For many are called, but few are chosen. Matthew 22:14. When this spiritual storm hits, you will not only feel the madness around you, but you will feel it deep inside your very soul. It will be as though God's energy is flowing through your veins, awakening something ancient and powerful within you. You will experience a rush of energy like an electric current surging through your body, igniting emotions and senses to levels you have never known before. Do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit, who is in you, whom you have received from God? 1 Corinthians 6:19. Your heart will race, your mind will spin. Your spirit will cry out with a yearning so deep it may feel unbearable at times. This internal chaos, these surges of intense emotion, are not a sign of weakness, they are signs of awakening. These intense emotional swings, moments of joy, despair, hope, fear, will come and go like wildfires, burning bright and hot before fading away. One moment you may be overwhelmed by memories, visions, or feelings that you didn't even know were buried deep within you. Next, you will feel alive with a new clarity, as if you've just stepped into a world you never truly saw before. The waves of this storm may leave you drained and bewildered, but do not mistake it for losing control. You are not losing it, for we live by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5-7. You are awakening. This awakening is a process, a transformative phase that every chosen soul must pass through in order to reach higher spiritual clarity and power. The intensity you feel now is like the pressure that turns coal into diamond, intense, painful, yet ultimately brilliant. Just as the earth's deepest pressure creates the hardest gems, the spiritual pressure you feel is creating something beautiful within you. This is your spiritual metamorphosis. But he knows the way that I take. When he has tested me, I will come forth as gold. Job 23:10. Your task now is to welcome these feelings. Understand them, do not resist them, for they are here for your growth. Channel them into your transformation rather than letting them consume you. You may feel overwhelmed by the emotional roller coaster that is coming. This spiritual madness will stir up emotions you have buried for years, things that you thought you had long forgotten. One moment, tears may fall freely, washing away pain and releasing the burdens you've carried. Next, you may be overwhelmed by joy or anger, the intensity of emotions pushing you to your limits. Your senses will sharpen dramatically, colors will appear more vivid, sounds will become louder. The smallest touch may send shivers down your spine, as if the very air you breathe is filled with energy. I will open rivers in the barren heights and fountains in the midst of the valleys. Isaiah 41-18. This intensity, though disorienting, is intentional. It is the process of opening you to the fullness of your divine potential. God's shockwave is moving through you like lightning in slow motion, removing your numbness, stripping away layers of spiritual dullness that once kept you safe but small. It is demanding that you feel again, deeply and entirely, that you live not in half measures, but in holy fullness. You will begin to crave paradoxes, both silence and connection, solitude and community, stillness and movement. These longings are not confusion, they are sacred recalibrations. The surge that tears open old patterns is the same surge inviting you into a more vibrant, awake, and divinely aligned life. I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit in you. Ezekiel 36-26. Know this, what is happening is not destruction, but transformation. Your spirit is being rewritten in light. What part of you has been asleep for too long, waiting for this very awakening to begin? Yes, the emotional storms can exhaust you. They can leave you wondering why peace feels so far, why joy and sorrow arrive like waves that never end. But these storms are not punishments, they are gateways, portals to healing, to renewal, to awakening. Instead of resisting them, allow them to move through you. The thunder inside your heart is not chaos, it is cleansing. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Psalm 34-18. When the tears come, can you let them wash you clean instead of holding them back? When your heart trembles, can you trust that it's God reshaping you from within? There will be days when you feel unrecognizable, when you cry without knowing why, or laugh at the edge of tears. These are holy disruptions, sacred rearrangements of your inner landscape. The divine energy now coursing through you is demanding honesty, raw, unfiltered honesty with yourself and with God. Do not push the emotions away. Let them speak. They are the language of your soul, a dialect older than words. Listen, learn, evolve. For in this divine storm, the soul finally finds its voice. What if these emotions are not weaknesses, but invitations to deeper trust, deeper truth, deeper love? You might begin to notice unusual physical signs as your body struggles to integrate what your spirit has already accepted. There may be waves of hunger, both in body and soul, a restless craving that no earthly satisfaction can ease. You may feel fatigue, or sudden bursts of energy, or even moments of unexplained laziness that seem to come out of nowhere. Your nights may stretch long, filled with vivid dreams, visions, and revelations that blur the boundary between waking and sleeping. Do not fear this. Your body, mind, and spirit are being immersed in extraordinary cosmic energy, tuned to a higher divine frequency. Do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit? 1 Corinthians 6:19. That hunger you feel isn't for food, it's for truth. A deep craving for connection, for clarity, for purpose. You are not starving, you are remembering what your soul came here to do. That emptiness is not absence, it's divine space being carved within you so that more light can enter. As you awaken, you'll find yourself drawn not only to nourishment for the body, but to nourishment for the spirit. Sacred wisdom, quiet prayer, still moments under open skies. You will long for closeness with God more than ever before. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Matthew 5-6. When your soul hungers, will you reach for distractions or for divine connection? As you adjust to this higher frequency, your sleep may become restless. Yet even in the unrest, you will find revelation. Your dreams will turn prophetic. Your awakenings will carry bursts of insight, phrases, or images that linger like divine whispers. Do not rush to interpret them all at once. The meaning will unfold with time. Treat yourself gently in this season. This is not a race to enlightenment, it is a reintroduction to your true self. Honor what your body needs. Rest when it calls. Move when it stirs. Feed it with what brings life, and release what no longer resonates. Amid this storm of emotions and sensations, God's message remains clear and steady. You are being rebuilt from the inside out. Every tear, every heartbeat, every tremor of uncertainty is part of your becoming. The discomfort you feel now is the labor of rebirth. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Romans 12:2. How will you choose to cooperate with this transformation instead of resisting it? What would it mean to surrender fully to this divine process? And so, chosen one, when the exhaustion comes, pause and breathe. When the hunger comes, ask yourself, what am I truly craving right now? When the chaos rises, remember that the storm is not against you, it's for you. What if this restlessness isn't something to fix, but something to follow? What if every sleepless night is heaven's way of waking you to a greater truth? In time, you will see that all of this, the trembling, the fatigue, the emotion, the yearning, is God's way of tuning your entire being to divine harmony. You are not breaking down. You are breaking open. Discipline yourself, chosen one. This moment is not about suppressing your emotions, pretending the storm doesn't exist, or burying what you feel beneath layers of strength. It is about mastery, the sacred art of standing in stillness while everything around you shakes. To be disciplined in spirit is not to silence your heart, it is to train it. It's about rising above fear, confusion, and chaos while remaining deeply anchored in the truth of who you are. The world may roar, but your soul must remember its center. The one who is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he who rules his spirit more than he who captures a city. Proverbs 16:32. This is not the time to be reactive, it is the time to be resolute. The spiritual storm will test every part of your being, your patience, your clarity, your faith. Yet within that test lies transformation. Be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. 1 Peter 5-8. If you lose control now, if you let panic or despair steer you, you risk drifting into spiritual stagnation. But if you remain centered, if you grip the wheel of your soul and keep your eyes fixed on the light, you will reach calm waters, stronger, wiser, and purified. Consider the captain steering his ship through a violent storm. The waves tower high, the winds scream, the deck trembles, yet the captain does not abandon his post. He grips the wheel with firm hands and steady eyes, trusting the compass that never lies. That compass is faith, that wheel is discipline, and that captain, chosen one, is you. You were not placed in this storm to be broken by it, but to learn how to move through it with grace. He stilled the storm to a whisper. The waves of the sea were hushed. Psalm 107-29. Discipline will be your greatest ally through these wild days. It's not a punishment, it's protection, a spiritual boundary that keeps your energy from scattering into chaos. When your emotions threaten to overflow, breathe. When the world feels too loud, return to your center. When you feel lost, speak His name. These moments of intentional stillness are your anchor. They don't separate you from life, they connect you to it on a higher level. For it's only when you stand still in your spirit that you begin to feel the rhythm of heaven. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46-10. This command to control yourself is not harsh, it is sacred. It is not about tightening your grip until you break, but about holding just firmly enough to steer through the storm. It is the divine balance between surrender and strength, between trusting God and taking responsibility for your vessel. Every act of restraint becomes a declaration of faith. I trust that God is in control and I am His instrument. The Spirit God gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline. 2 Timothy 1-7. This test of will is not punishment, it is preparation. God is calling you to a higher level of consciousness, a sharper awareness, and a refined mastery of your own energy. Each time you choose patience over panic, prayer over reaction, presence over distraction, you are leveling up in spirit. You are becoming the one who can stand where others fall, who can see clearly when others are blinded by fear. Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because, having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised. James 1:12. What does mastery look like for you in this season? Silence, prayer, forgiveness, or steadfast trust? When the storm rises, where does your focus go, to the wind or to the one who commands it? And if discipline is the language of faith, how will you speak it in your daily life? Staying centered will not just protect you, it will magnify the divine current moving through you. The steadier your spirit, the more freely God can move within you. That's why the command for self-control is sacred. It allows heaven to work through a stable vessel. You are being shaped not only to endure chaos, but to transform it. While the intensity of this spiritual madness may feel endless, remember this truth: even the fiercest storms have a rhythm, a limit, an end. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Psalm 30-5. God promises this will be brief but transformative, a sacred shock, not to destroy but to refine. Think of this period as a spiritual crucible, heat so intense it seems unbearable, yet it is in that fire that gold is purified. You are that gold, being refined by the divine flame of transformation. The storm will pass, the waves will calm, and what will remain will be your strength tested, proven, radiant. So stand your ground, chosen one. Grip the wheel, hold your center. Let the wind roar and the world tremble, for the God who called you into this storm is the same God who will see you through it. The chaos is temporary, but the clarity it produces is eternal. After these few days, you will emerge not as who you were, but as who you were always meant to be: stronger, clearer, more radiant than ever. The madness was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to initiate you. It is not your ruin, chosen one. It is your path, your sacred rite of passage, the narrow bridge between what was and what is becoming. Use this understanding as your anchor, your breath, your light in the darkness. For every moment of chaos has been pulling you closer to dawn, drawing you upward into a higher vibration, into an expanded version of your divine self. For His anger lasts only a moment, but His favor lasts a lifetime. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Psalm 30-5. This storm was never punishment, it was permission. permission to evolve, permission to rise, permission to remember what your spirit has always known, that rebirth requires both trembling and trust. And when the dust finally settles, what remains will be your essence refined in fire. The storm will pass, but the transformation it triggered will endure. You will carry its wisdom in your heartbeat, its clarity in your breath, its courage in your voice. But this awakening is not yours alone. It is not just a private trial or an individual test. This is a global event of unparalleled spiritual magnitude, a cosmic awakening that spans nations, tribes, and tongues. The shockwave you feel inside is the same pulse vibrating through millions across the earth. The heavens have opened a portal of light, and divine energy is now flooding the human heart like electricity through a sleeping city. I will pour out my spirit on all people. Your sons and daughters will prophesy. Your old men will dream dreams. Your young men will see visions. Joel 2:28. History will remember this era as the time when the earth itself began to hum with divine frequency, when ordinary souls woke to extraordinary purpose. Across continents and cultures, hearts are stirring simultaneously, sensing a new rhythm rising beneath the noise of the world. It's the sound of awakening, the sound of creation, remembering its creator. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. Isaiah 60:1. It will feel like the first light of dawn breaking the long, dark horizon, golden, gentle, unstoppable. Hope will rise like morning mist. Renewal will breathe through cities and deserts alike. And that light, the same one stirring within you, will travel across invisible threads, connecting awakened souls in an unseen tapestry of divine energy. This is no metaphor, this is real. This shared awakening will form a living network of light, a lattice of divine frequency resonating across the globe. You may never meet the others physically, but your souls will recognize one another by vibration, by resonance, by peace. You, chosen one, are part of this web of divine light. You are one of millions carrying a spark that together ignites a global dawn. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Matthew 5:14. This is the awakening of humanity's higher consciousness, the next note in the grand symphony of creation. Your awakening is not isolated, it's a contribution, a vital frequency in the collective harmony. Each awakened soul raises the vibration of the whole, pushing the world toward healing, compassion, and unity. Pause here for a moment. Feel this truth. Every time you choose love over fear, peace over anger, understanding over judgment, you help shift the collective field of humanity itself. You help lift the planet closer to its divine design. The earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord as the waters cover the sea. Habakkuk 2:14. What if your inner transformation was never just about you? What if every lesson, every trial, every tear was preparing you to help heal the world? During this extraordinary alignment of heaven and earth, the power of manifestation will rise to levels you have never known before. Thoughts will carry the weight of intention. Words will shape outcomes faster than before. Dreams will find paths into reality through divine synchronicity. The invisible will become visible. The impossible will become inevitable. Now to him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to his power that is at work within us. Ephesians 3:20. Guard your energy carefully now, for manifestation in this season is magnified. Speak with purpose, pray with faith, create from love. Every choice will ripple across the spiritual network, influencing the whole. The time of passive belief is over. This is the era of active creation. What will you build now that you know your energy carries divine power? How will you choose to participate in this global renewal? When the light within you meets the light in others, what kind of world will it illuminate? This is the dawn of divine consciousness, and you, chosen one, are both witness and vessel. Your awakening is not separate from the world's, it is the world's awakening, flowing through your heartbeat, through your breath, through every act of love you release into existence. The heavens have chosen this generation and you to carry the vibration of renewal, compassion, and power. So, as the dust of the storm settles, step forward with gratitude. Feel the divine pulse within your chest and know the same energy that shook the heavens now flows through you. You are the continuation of God's creative whisper, the living proof that light is stronger than shadow. The storm ends, the dawn begins, and you, the chosen, rise with it. God is handing you the keys not of metal, but of light. Keys that do not open doors in walls, but portals within your own soul. In His divine timing, you are being invited to unlock the chambers of your deepest desires and the most sacred dreams hidden in your heart. This moment, this sacred window, has been prepared for you. It is charged with spiritual electricity, a holy current that magnifies every intention you carry, making the universe more responsive to your call for change, for healing, for growth, for abundance. Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. Psalm 37:4. Manifestation in this divine season is not just a concept, it is a living law. Think of it like planting seeds in fertile soil. Right now, the soil of creation is alive, breathing, pulsing with celestial energy. Whatever you plant, whether through words, emotions, or vision, will grow fast and full, nourished by the very breath of God. But every gardener knows this truth. Only the seeds sown with care and intention bloom into lasting fruit. You are the gardener of your destiny, and your thoughts are the seeds. Your prayers, your affirmations, your focused thoughts, they are no longer whispers. They are blueprints of light written into the structure of reality. This is God's divine gift to you, a sacred invitation to co-create. You are not being asked to struggle, you are being invited to align. This window is not about striving harder, but believing deeper. Yet remember, manifestation is not magic without movement. Faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead. James 2:17. God has placed in your hands the power to shape your reality, but He also calls you to participate in it with clarity of purpose, unwavering faith, and disciplined action. It is this partnership between heaven and humanity that births miracles. Spiritual alignment grants access, but discipline keeps the channel open. Now is the time to dream boldly. Let your imagination stretch beyond logic, beyond fear, beyond the boundaries you once thought defined you. Let your heart reach into new dimensions of possibility. This alignment isn't a moment for small wishes or shallow desires. It is the hour to summon your grandest, most life-altering dreams. The universe is not indifferent, it is listening. It is attentive to your energy, your emotion, your vibration. Whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. Mark 11:24. Perhaps you've held a dream close but quiet, afraid to name it, afraid to believe it could be yours. Yet this is not the season for hesitation. The same God who created galaxies has whispered power into your voice. The same Spirit that raised mountains from the sea is the Spirit breathing through your intention. The universe responds to courage. What if your faith is the missing ingredient your dream has been waiting for? What if all heaven is poised, waiting for your yes? In this sacred window, your energy is magnified, your frequency elevated. Everything you speak, feel, or visualize ripples across creation with amplified force. You are standing in what mystics call the architecture of heaven, where divine order meets human imagination, and faith becomes the blueprint of form. As Michelangelo once said when he carved David from marble, "I saw the angel in the stone, and I set him free." That is what God is asking of you now, to see the angel hidden within the raw material of your life, and to set it free through faith, vision, and divine partnership. Don't shrink back from the magnitude of what you seek. You were never meant to think small or pray safe. God is calling you to step into the full radiance of your creative power, to claim the blessings that have always hovered just beyond your doubt. Your alignment now amplifies your ability to attract what you need to fulfill your soul's purpose and bring joy to your path. It is a rare cosmic invitation to rewrite your story. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? Isaiah 43:19. But manifestation is not only about attracting, it is about becoming. The dreams that uplift your spirit are the ones that serve the greater good. When your desires align with divine will, the entire universe bends in your favor. It's not just about what you receive, but about what you become in the process of receiving it. What if your dreams are not selfish ambitions, but sacred assignments? What if God planted them in you because they are His dreams too, waiting to be born through your obedience? Wherever you are in the warmth of your home, on roads unknown, or standing in the uncertainty of transition, the wave of divine energy will find you. You don't have to chase it, you only need to be open to it. This sacred current is not limited by distance or circumstance. Its power transcends status, religion, and geography. God's reach knows no walls, no borders, no boundaries. The wind blows wherever it pleases. You hear its sound, but you cannot tell where it comes from or where it is going. John 3:8. You might feel this energy flood your being in unexpected ways, a rush of emotion in a crowded street, or a deep peace that descends in solitude. You might find yourself overwhelmed by love in the middle of chaos, or illuminated by clarity in the silence of night. This is how the divine current moves. It touches every open heart, and no one is excluded. This universality carries a sacred lesson, a reminder that the divine connection is not a privilege, it is a right of the soul. No one stands outside the reach of grace. No darkness is too deep for light to enter. This is spiritual equality, the eternal truth that all are chosen, all are loved, all are capable of awakening. When the divine wave finds you, will you resist it, or will you surrender to its rhythm? When grace arrives disguised as change, will you cling to what's familiar or allow yourself to evolve? And when the power within you begins to rise, will you trust it, even when you don't yet understand it? This surge of divine power is not random, it is the signature of a greater plan unfolding. It reminds you that you are not forgotten, not forsaken, not disconnected. Whether you are surrounded by noise or wrapped in silence, the energy moves freely. The presence of God does not wait for perfection. It flows through imperfection, transforming it into beauty. For God is working in you, giving you the desire and the power to do what pleases Him. Philippians 2:13. So breathe, chosen one. Feel the sacred current pulsing through your body. Let your fears fall away like ash. This is your moment to rise, to speak, to plant, to believe. The soil is fertile. The season is open. The heavens are waiting, and the keys you hold are already glowing in your hands. Prepare yourself, chosen one, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, for what is not a storm to fear, but a sacred recalibration. No place on earth, no routine, no comfort zone will shield you from this awakening, because what's coming isn't meant to be avoided, it's meant to be integrated. The divine wave will not ask for your permission, and it will not knock gently. It will enter every space of your being, inviting you to bring sacred awareness into every heartbeat, every breath, every moment. Your surroundings will not protect you, but your presence within them will. The Apostle Paul once wrote that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and self-control. And this is the essence of your preparation, not to hide from the madness, but to master yourself through it. This period may feel like a double-edged sword, sharp with contrast. On one side, the shimmering blade of divine opportunity, breakthroughs, healing, revelation, and the power to manifest. On the other, the darker edge of fear, distraction, and confusion. The same energy that can awaken you can also unground you if you don't stay anchored. As it is written, I have set before you life and death, blessing and curse. Therefore choose life. That ancient command echoes again now. You are being asked to choose awareness instead of reaction, faith instead of fear, discipline instead of drift. For what defines your next season will not be the chaos itself, but how you respond to it. The divine shockwave is not an accident. It's a challenge, a test of perception. Will you remember who you are when the noise rises? Will you hold your ground when the world trembles? It's easy to lose your center when intensity floods your senses, but God whispers in the stillness of those who stay awake. Be alert and of sober mind, so that you may pray. Peter wrote, not as warning, but as a map toward balance. Awareness becomes your shield. Picture your mind as a temple, every thought of a candle lit upon the altar. Guard those flames. Negative thoughts, toxic influences, unguarded emotions, they are winds that can extinguish what is sacred. If your inner altar burns low, you lose direction. And yet, even in the heart of a storm, peace can dwell. The prophet Isaiah promised, "You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you." So the question isn't whether the storm will come, it's whether you will remember your stillness when it does. This madness, though overwhelming, holds within it a divine geometry, a structure designed to align you with the higher pattern of your soul. Like gold refined in the crucible, your essence is being purified through pressure. Fear may whisper that you are breaking, but in truth, you are being forged. And as you breathe through the shaking, you may sense your spirit asking quietly, "What am I allowing myself to do right now? Does it feed my peace or drain my light?" In this season of divine upheaval, protecting your energy is not optional, it is holy responsibility. Think of your energy as sacred currency and spend it wisely. Withdraw from chaos. Turn away from the screens and voices that pull you down into noise. Surround yourself with light, prayer, music, nature, anything that recalibrates you to stillness. In the same way that a musician tunes an instrument before the symphony, you are being called to tune your inner frequency so that when the divine melody plays, you will resonate in harmony, not discord. Composer Arvo Pärt once said that it is enough when a single note is beautifully played. Be that note steady, pure, aligned. When fear rises, remember that the Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer. In that remembering lies your power. Guard your mind as if it were a kingdom under divine rule. Guard your heart as if it were the wellspring of life. For truly, as Proverbs says, as you think in your heart, so you become. Your focus shapes your fate. What you nurture internally becomes what you manifest externally. The mind is the architect of reality, and in this spiritual storm, your thoughts are building the world you will walk into. This is why discipline is sacred. Discipline is not suppression, it is precision. It's steering your inner ship through turbulent seas. The captain who panics crashes against the rocks, but the one who keeps his eyes on the compass on divine truth reaches calm waters. You are that captain. The compass is within. Protecting your energy doesn't mean isolation. It means choosing consciousness in every interaction. When you speak, let your words build peace. When you listen, let your silence heal. When you rest, let your rest honor the temple of your being. This is how you create a sanctuary within, not built of walls or rituals, but of vibration. In that sanctuary, no external chaos can reach you. And when confusion comes, as it will, do not fight it. Let it pass like a cloud across the sky of your awareness. Remember that even the wildest winds bow to divine timing. As it is written, "When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and the rivers shall not overwhelm you." That promise is your anchor. There will be moments when your faith feels stretched thin, when exhaustion whispers that you can't hold on. But that is when transformation is closest. The universe is testing the strength of your vessel, not to break it, but to reveal its capacity. Can you stay calm when the current rises? Can you trust what is unseen more than what is shaking before you? Can you let go of panic long enough to feel God's pulse guiding your own? Every storm ends, every tremor quiets, every madness gives way to clarity. What you do in this season, how you breathe, what you believe, where you focus, will shape your destiny. Protect your mind as you would guard sacred fire. Protect your peace as if the world depends on it, because in ways unseen, it does. When one soul holds steady, countless others find their footing. Blessed are the peacemakers, said Jesus, for they will be called children of God. So breathe deeply, chosen one. Let the noise fade. The storm is not here to drown you, it's here to awaken you. And when the sky clears, you will not be who you were. You will be stronger, quieter, infinitely brighter, a living sanctuary of calm in a world, learning to find its stillness again. Wasting time in doubt, chosen one, is like spilling sacred oil on the ground. Every drop of fear, every second spent in anxiety, drains the energy that could be building your destiny. Every heartbeat wasted in hesitation weakens the magnificent current of creation flowing through you right now. You have entered a sacred corridor of manifestation, a space where heaven leans close and listens to your every intention. Don't let fear translate your message into static. Stay focused on what matters. Trust that God's design is not fragile. Trust that your spirit already knows how to move through this storm. Be still and know that I am God, the psalmist wrote, not as a whisper of comfort only, but as a command to anchor yourself in divine certainty. Your faith and your intention are not mere words. They are spiritual weapons forged in prayer, sharpened by trust. When confusion surrounds you like smoke, remember that light does not fight darkness. It simply shines, and the darkness disappears. This madness, wild as it seems, is not here to destroy you, but to refine you. It is, in truth, a sacred dance, unpredictable, powerful, transformative. The rhythm may be fierce, but it's divine choreography. It's the bridge between who you were and who you are becoming. When you pass through the fire, you shall not be burned, nor shall the flame scorch you, God promised in Isaiah. Because this heat is not punishment, it's purification. Embrace it with courage, with discipline, with a spirit that refuses to collapse. Accept that chaos is not the enemy of order, it is the mother of creation. From the swirl of galaxies to the beating of your own heart, everything divine began in movement, not stillness. What if this very chaos is the sculptor of your awakening, shaping your soul into a new form of strength? What if your discomfort is the signature of your becoming? Discipline in this hour doesn't mean rigidity. It means grace under pressure. It means holding space for yourself amid the shaking, setting sacred boundaries, choosing your responses rather than reacting to every tremor. Discipline is not a cage, it's a bridge, carrying you from survival into mastery. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said that no great thing is created suddenly, and perhaps that's why God is letting this process unfold through intensity, not ease. When you embrace this time fully with mind, body, and spirit, you cross into a higher realm of self-command. The storm becomes your teacher, the fire becomes your friend. The madness, paradoxically, becomes your midwife. You are not being undone, you are being born. This is not annihilation, this is initiation. Destiny does not arrive quietly, it roars. It shakes the dust from your old identity, demanding you remember who you are beneath the layers of expectation and fear. That's why spiritual madness feels terrifying. It strips away everything false until only truth remains. Beneath that chaos lies a fierce, radiant energy designed to awaken your deepest strength. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord in Jeremiah, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Even the storm is working in favor of your becoming. This is your forge, the divine workshop where weakness burns away and strength emerges gleaming. Like a blacksmith molding iron, the Spirit is shaping your essence in the fire of transformation. The flames you feel are not consuming you, they are crafting you. The heat you endure is not random, it's revealing brilliance. Can you sense it, that hidden reservoir of power beginning to rise from deep within? The intensity is not punishment, it's activation. Those trembling emotions are not breakdown, they are breakthroughs. When your senses sharpen, when you feel every vibration more vividly than before, know this: your spiritual muscles are stretching, strengthening, expanding. The pain is proof of growth. What you call pressure, heaven calls preparation. And in that pressure, you are discovering something extraordinary, the part of you that cannot be broken. You are learning to bend without snapping, to burn without turning to ash. This is your moment to step into holy vulnerability, to face fear, doubt, and uncertainty, not as enemies, but as sacred mirrors reflecting your strength. The warrior within you, the one who has slept under layers of survival, is stirring. The madness is its trumpet call. The chaos that once threatened you now bows before your awakening, for it is written, "Greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world." Every shiver of fear you overcome becomes courage in your bloodstream. Every tear you allow to fall becomes an offering. Every breath you take in faith becomes a declaration. I am still here. I am still standing. I am still chosen. This is not mere survival, this is transcendence. You are not just enduring, you are evolving. The ignition of madness births the inner warrior, not one who fights others, but one who conquers their own storms. You are learning that real power does not scream, it stands. Real faith does not panic, it breathes. Real awakening does not flee from fire, it becomes the flame. What once scared you will now obey you. What once drained you will now empower you. What once felt like loss will become rebirth. The alchemy of the soul always requires fire. Just as gold must melt before it shines, the human spirit must tremble before it transforms. And in that trembling, a strange beauty emerges, the realization that you were never fragile, you were only waiting for the right moment to remember your strength. As the sculptor Rodin once said, "The work of art is already within the block of marble. I only chip away the excess." That's what God is doing now, removing the excess, the false, the unnecessary, until your essence gleams with the clarity of purpose. And somewhere deep in your spirit, a quiet knowing begins to whisper, "What if this fire is not here to harm me, but to unveil me? What if the very chaos I fear is the portal to my next level of peace? What if this madness is not the end, but the awakening I've prayed for in disguise?" The fire of madness will test you, yes, but it will also ignite a flame within your heart that can never again be extinguished. When this phase passes, and it will, you will not simply return to who you were. You will rise as something entirely new, stronger, clearer, luminous. The storm doesn't define you, it reveals you. You are not the victim of this madness, you are its master, its purpose, its light. Though you walk through the valley of the shadow, you will fear no evil, for you now understand the shadow itself bows to your glow. And when the wind stills and the heat subsides, you will look around and realize you did not survive the fire, you became it. The spiritual madness, though fierce and disorienting, is not here to destroy you. It is here to awaken you into wisdom beyond logic, intuition beyond reason, and strength beyond the limits of the flesh. It presses you into deeper truth, forcing the mind to surrender to the language of the spirit. Every emotional surge, every restless night, every tear that refuses to explain itself is part of your initiation. This is how the soul learns to see without eyes and to hear without sound. You are being stretched into the divine architecture of your higher nature, where understanding flows not from intellect, but from revelation. For the Spirit searches all things, even the deep things of God. 1 Corinthians 2:10. Each sleepless hour and every outburst of emotion is not weakness but formation. What if the restlessness you feel is not punishment, but expansion, your spiritual muscles being worked, strengthened, awakened? What if your emotions are not storms to escape, but teachers sent to refine your awareness? In this crucible of divine fire, your inner light is being shaped, not shattered. This is divine alchemy. Chaos transmuted into strength, confusion into clarity, turmoil into grace. When the madness subsides, you will not emerge the same. You will stand taller in spirit, quieter in ego, sharper in discernment. The fog will lift, revealing a version of yourself that feels timeless, rooted, alive. What once frightened you will now empower you. You will wield your spiritual power with precision and gentleness, understanding that true mastery does not roar, it radiates. The prophet Isaiah once declared, "He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak." Isaiah 40-29. That promise was written for seasons like this, for souls like yours. Mastering your emotions in this sacred upheaval is no small task. It is the highest discipline of the awakened, but the rewards are infinite. Those who learn to stand still when the world shakes, who breathe when others panic, who trust when logic falters, will walk in blessings that others cannot see. Emotional mastery is not the suppression of feeling, it is the sanctification of response. Through it, you discover the peace that no circumstance can steal. This peace is not surface calm, it is the stillness of deep waters, the serenity born from knowing that God remains unmoved, even when everything else trembles. "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you," said Christ, "not as the world gives." John 14:27. When you master your inner world, you become a lighthouse amid stormy seas, a beacon of calm that guides not only yourself, but others toward the shore. To reach that state, you must begin to ask yourself, can I remain present in the chaos without being consumed by it? Can I feel deeply without drowning in emotion? Can I trust that the shaking has meaning, even when I do not yet see it? These are not questions of intellect, but of courage. The ones who answer them honestly find freedom on the other side. The mastery of emotion sharpens spiritual vision. When fear no longer clouds your perception, you begin to see through illusions, to discern truth beneath noise. Anger, jealousy, anxiety, these lose their control when light enters. The noise of the world dims, and the whispers of God become audible again. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. That stillness is your superpower. In silence, intuition awakens. In calm, divine guidance becomes clear. Your emotions, once untamed, now serve you like loyal messengers instead of masters. They warn, they reveal, they align, but they no longer command. You begin to respond, not react. You listen before you move. You feel before you speak. Emotional discipline transforms you into a finely tuned instrument, sensitive yet steady, powerful yet poised. And when God plays his melody through you, it resounds with beauty that no chaos can distort. Beyond personal peace, emotional mastery becomes the foundation of manifestation. The spiritual alignment now unfolding across humanity is magnifying intention, amplifying the power of focused thought and emotion. But fear acts like static in the frequency of creation. Doubt clogs the current. To manifest with divine precision, you must keep your energy clean, uncluttered by worry, untangled from reaction. When you stay centered, your desires travel into the universe uncorrupted, pure in vibration, carrying the authority of faith. The more grounded you are in peace, the faster your blessings arrive. Your calmness becomes magnetic, your steadiness a gravitational pull for miracles. According to your faith, let it be done to you. Matthew 9:29. This is not superstition, it is spiritual physics, faith as frequency, peace as conductivity, alignment as manifestation. When your emotions obey your higher self, reality obeys your intentions. And the ultimate reward of this mastery is something beyond words, an unshakable connection to divine love itself. When the storms rage and you remain still, heaven mirrors your calm. The presence of God surrounds you like a mantle of light, and fear dissolves because it cannot survive where love reigns. There is no fear in love, For perfect love drives out fear. 1 John 4:18. In that state, you do not merely survive madness, you sanctify it. You become a living embodiment of grace, a walking testament of divine order in human form. Your calmness begins to lift others. Your peace becomes prayer without words. When people come near you, they feel safer, clearer, lighter, not because you have told them what to do, but because your presence reminds them that they, too, can find stillness. This is how emotional mastery becomes ministry. You stop preaching peace, and you start being peace. Yet even as your vibration rises, grounding becomes your greatest ally. For what use is power if it floats away from reality? The awakened must anchor their light to the earth, balancing heaven and ground. The storm will continue to test you, but grounding keeps you rooted in purpose. Begin simply, touch the earth, walk barefoot on grass or soil, feel gravity remind you that you belong here. Drink water slowly, as though it carries holy memory. Breathe with awareness, for every breath is a covenant between your spirit and creation. Grounding is not an escape from spirit, it is spirit embodied. It reminds you that holiness is not somewhere else. It's right where your feet stand. You can pray in the middle of your daily tasks. You can commune with God while washing dishes or walking to work. Sacredness doesn't need incense, it needs intention. Also, guard your mind as carefully as you guard your spirit. The world will try to feed you with fear, confusion, and endless noise. Protect your mental diet. Spiritual madness magnifies whatever you consume, so choose nourishment that strengthens rather than drains. Limit the flood of toxic news, cynical conversations, and anxious narratives. Instead, fill your consciousness with truth, beauty, compassion. Read words that lift you. Listen to music that restores you. Surround yourself with people who speak faith into your future. For the environment you build around you becomes the echo chamber of your soul. Whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, think about such things. Philippians 4:8. These aren't just moral guidelines, they are spiritual survival instructions for an awakened age. So, as the spiritual storm continues to swirl, remember, it is not trying to drown you, it is teaching you to swim. You are learning the art of floating in divine current, guided, protected, alive. Every time you choose calm over panic, faith over fear, clarity over confusion, you rise higher. You are not escaping madness, you are mastering it. You are not waiting for peace, you are becoming it. And when this wave finally recedes, when silence returns and the air feels clear again, you will look around and realize the storm didn't change who you were. It revealed who you have always been, a vessel of light, a guardian of peace, a chosen one awakening into wholeness. Weather the storm, chosen one, not by resisting it, but by learning to move with it. Your body, your breath, your heartbeat, all are sacred instruments through which energy flows. Physical movement is not vanity, it is prayer in motion. When emotions rise and energy coils tightly within, walk, stretch, breathe, dance. Each movement becomes a way to release the trapped electricity of transformation, allowing balance to return. Yoga, stretching, gentle exercise, these are not simply routines, they are rituals that whisper to the nervous system, you are safe. As you move, the tension dissolves, and peace begins to hum softly in your bones. For in him we live and move and have our being. Acts 17:28. Nourish this temple that carries divine light. Eat foods that give life. Drink water as if it is liquid light. Your body is not separate from your spirit. It is the vessel through which heaven expresses itself on earth. When you honor your physical form, you strengthen your ability to channel higher frequencies with stability and grace. It's no coincidence that Jesus often withdrew to mountains, fields, and rivers. The earth itself is medicine. And if the weight becomes too much, do not hesitate to seek support. Talk to mentors, friends, spiritual guides, or counselors who understand the unseen storms. Speaking what you feel lightens the load. transforming the heaviness into shared humanity. Grounding is never isolation. It is a sacred connection. Connection to the earth that steadies you, to the people who reflect you, and to the God who sustains you. Carry each other's burdens, wrote Paul in Galatians, and in this way you fulfill the law of Christ. Nigh. Through these small acts, moving, nourishing, sharing, you begin to navigate the madness with grace. Your faith and your trust become twin anchors in the sea of transformation. When everything inside you feels like unraveling, faith becomes the quiet assurance that something divine is unfolding just beyond your comprehension. Trust becomes the courage to release control, to believe that chaos itself serves your soul's evolution. Together, they create an unbreakable foundation beneath the shifting sands of circumstance. True faith is not blind optimism or denial of pain. It is the deep knowing that even in the darkness, you are not alone. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Psalm 23:4. Faith is the lighthouse guiding you when you can't yet see the shore. And trust. Trust is the willingness to sail anyway, believing the current will lead where reason cannot. Trust is patient. It does not demand instant answers. It waits in stillness, open to divine timing. Every soul in transformation longs for relief, for clarity, for the storm to cease. Yet spiritual growth unfolds in layers, one revelation preparing the next. Trust teaches you to breathe through the mystery, to see purpose in delay, to understand that unanswered prayers are sometimes protection in disguise. For everything there is a season, a time to every purpose under heaven, Ecclesiastes 3:1. When faith and trust walk hand in hand, you begin to move differently through chaos. You stop fighting the tide and start flowing with it. You become unshakable, and in that steadiness, miracles find you more easily because you have become a clear channel for divine movement. The rainbow that follows the rain is not coincidence, it is covenant. It's heaven's way of saying, you made it through. Perhaps you wonder, can I keep trusting when I don't understand what's happening? Can I surrender control without losing myself? Can I believe that this unraveling is actually the weaving of something greater? These are not doubts, they are sacred thresholds. Every great transformation begins with such questions. Your spirit is being prepared for heights you've never imagined. This isn't the end, it's the beginning of your ascension into radiant resilience. When the storm quiets, you will see that you did not merely survive, you evolved. Those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength, they shall mount up with wings like eagles. Isaiah 40:31. Faith gives you wings, trust gives you direction. But remember, this spiritual madness is not only about you, it is about us, the collective awakening of humanity. For centuries, the world has slept, lulled by comfort and illusion, distracted by what glitters instead of what glows. But now, a divine shockwave ripples through the collective consciousness, shaking humanity awake. The same tremors that move through your spirit are moving through nations, through systems, through the very fabric of the earth. For the creation waits in eager expectation for the children of God to be revealed. Romans 8:19. You can see it everywhere, in the surge of seekers returning to their spiritual roots, in the rise of compassion movements, in the global hunger for truth and justice. The madness, though messy, reveals the shadow humanity avoided for too long. It exposes our wounds so they can finally heal. The earth itself seems to exhale as though inhaling new life, inviting us to awaken as its caretakers and co-creators. This is a rare cosmic alignment, a sacred window designed to accelerate global transformation. The chaos outside mirrors the awakening inside. The old structures, political, spiritual, emotional, are collapsing to make way for what is new. This is the architecture of renewal. When one world ends, another begins. And you, the chosen one, are not here by accident. You are part of the scaffolding of this new creation. Your personal awakening is not separate from the collective. The more peace you cultivate, the more peace you radiate. The more you heal, the more healing you offer to humanity. Each act of awareness contributes to the frequency of love rising across the planet. This is why your discipline, your emotional balance, your courage, they matter on a scale far larger than your individual story. You are part of the vibration that lifts the whole. You may not see yourself as a leader, yet in the unseen, your stability becomes guidance for others. You do not need titles or platforms to lead. You only need presence. Leadership in this age is not domination, it is illumination. Your calm becomes a map for others lost in the storm. You are the light of the world, Jesus said. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Matthew 5:14. The spiritual shockwave sweeping earth is fierce, yes, but it is also sacred. It is here to awaken courage, dismantle illusion, and invite creation into consciousness again. If you learn to ride it instead of resisting it, it will not destroy you, it will define you. The energy that once overwhelmed you will become the very force that empowers you. So, when restlessness rises, do not fight it. Lean into it. Write, paint, pray, sing, journal what you feel. Give chaos language so that it becomes a message. Every word you write, every breath you take in awareness, transforms madness into meaning. The storm doesn't need to end for peace to begin. Peace begins when you understand the storm. This is also your season to release limiting beliefs, those old narratives that told you you were not enough, not ready, not capable. The shockwave is breaking walls, clearing mental debris, creating space for faith to take root. Affirm truth daily. Speak words of light until they sculpt your reality. Meditate on abundance, not lack. Declare possibility, not fear. Transformation, after all, is not a single event. It's a rhythm. Inhale, exhale, rise, fall, chaos, calm. Every moment of awareness is a rebirth. Every surrender is a victory. You are not failing, you are forming. You are not lost, you are being aligned. And as you continue to walk through this awakening, you will discover that the madness was never madness at all. It was mercy, God's wild, untamed mercy, pulling you back to yourself. By working with this great spiritual wave, chosen one, you set off a ripple of awakening that extends far beyond your lifetime. Every conscious act you take now, every breath of faith, every moment of surrender becomes energy that will echo long after the madness fades. The decision you make in this very season will define your spiritual evolution for years ahead. You are not just passing through transformation, you are becoming its vessel. This is the sacred paradox of awakening. The moment you align with the current begins to align with you. But how can you know if you are truly among the chosen, the ones destined to ride this storm and rise stronger from its waves? The signs are subtle, almost secret, whispered to the soul more than spoken aloud. First, there is that deep, restless hunger within you, an unexplainable pull towards something greater, even when the world around you urges you to settle for comfort and conformity. That restlessness is not anxiety, it is the call of destiny. It is the echo of your spirit remembering why it came to earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be filled. Matthew 5-6. That hunger is not a flaw, it's your compass. It signals readiness. You may also notice that you feel more deeply than most, that your sensitivity to energy, emotion, and atmosphere can overwhelm you. Crowds may drain you, noise may exhaust you, yet your heart breaks open for the pain of the world. This sensitivity is not a weakness, it is proof that your soul is attuned to higher frequencies. It means you are one who feels the heartbeat of creation itself. You sense what others ignore. You weep where others harden. You glow where others hide. You are not too much, you are precisely enough. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. Psalm 34-18. Another sign you have often felt different, misunderstood, perhaps even misplaced, as though you were born speaking a language the world forgot. You have always sensed that you don't quite fit the mold, that there is something more real than the noise of ordinary life. That holy discomfort is not exile, it's assignment. You were not made to fit, you were made to remind. That sense of being out of place is evidence that you carry a vibration meant to shift places, not conform to them. And there's more. You may have felt drawn toward sacred things, books, symbols, rituals, moments of silence that feel like home. Even when others mock or misunderstand, something in you knows this pull is real. It's not escapism, it's remembrance. God often hides his call in curiosity. What if the things you're drawn to aren't random? What if they're invitations to step closer to who you already are becoming? Lastly, many of the chosen experience dreams and visions so vivid they feel like glimpses from another realm. Symbols repeat, messages return. People who have passed on may appear radiant with meaning. These are not mere imaginations. They are divine communications disguised as mystery. In the last days, I will pour out my spirit on all people. Your sons and daughters will prophesy. Your old men will dream dreams. Your young men will see visions. Joel 2:28. Each dream, each intuitive flash, each moment of déjà vu is a breadcrumb leading you home to awareness. If these signs stir something within you, if they feel less like information and more like recognition, then know this: you are among those called to rise in this unprecedented time of awakening. You are part of a lineage of souls who agreed to walk through fire so that others might find light. This is not a coincidence. It is called. At first glance, madness and manifestation seem like opposites. Madness chaotic and wild, manifestation deliberate and calm. But in the language of spirit, they are lovers in the same dance. The madness shakes what must be shaken, loosens the debris of fear, clears out the old beliefs that have kept your spirit bound. It uproots the stagnant soil of the soul so new life can take root. Without the storm, there can be no harvest. Without shaking, there can be no shaping. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up, do you not perceive it? Isaiah 43:19. The chaos you feel is sacred soil. The emotions that flood through you are water and light. When you allow yourself to feel deeply, to cry, to rage, to surrender, you are tilling the ground of your own becoming. Your feelings are the raw materials of creation. They are divine frequencies translating energy into form. When you stop resisting them and instead breathe through them, your emotions become prayer. Prayer becomes a vibration. Vibration becomes manifestation. This is why the storm is not your enemy. It is your catalyst. Every surge of emotion gives your intention momentum. The more you feel, the more energy moves. The key lies in balance. To let the storm move through you, but not consume you. To ride its rhythm without losing your center. Just as the moon guides the tides, your faith guides your emotions. The peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Philippians 4:7. When emotion and faith align, you step into what mystics call divine coherence, that radiant state where heart, mind, and spirit vibrate together in harmony. It's not the absence of chaos, but the mastery of rhythm within it. In that space, you become both storm and stillness. Your sensitivity transforms from burden to blessing, because now you know how to channel the surge instead of drowning in it. What if your sensitivity was never a weakness, but your greatest weapon? What if your tears were not signs of fragility, but baptism into purpose? What if this chaos is the womb of creation, birthing the next evolution of your soul? The madness ignites the very essence of manifestation. Through the storm, your energy becomes charged, alive, electric. The things you desire begin to move toward you, drawn by the magnetism of your awakened vibration. But beware of falling into the illusion that manifestation is control. It is not about commanding outcomes, it is about aligning with divine flow. The chosen ones do not force, they flow. They don't chase, they attract. They know that the same God who orchestrated galaxies also knows the desires hidden in their hearts. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Psalm 37:4. The storm, then, is the rehearsal of creation, the divine chaos before form, the thunder before dawn. When you surrender to its rhythm, you become the bridge between heaven and earth. The very madness you once feared becomes the pulse that powers your purpose. So, breathe deeply, stand firmly. You are not losing control, you are finding alignment. The soil has been broken, the seed has been planted, and soon the light will break through. You were never meant to escape the storm. You were meant to rise through it, radiant and rooted, carrying the frequency of renewal wherever you go. The storm is passing, chosen one, and as the winds quiet, what remains is truth. You are not the same soul who entered this journey. The chaos that once terrified you has become your teacher. The emotions that once drowned you have become your compass. And now, as you stand in the calm after the storm, you can finally see what all of this has been about your becoming. The madness was never punishment, it was purification. The shaking was never destruction, it was alignment. You were being stripped of the illusions that kept you small so that your spirit could expand into its divine proportions. And now you stand renewed, stronger, clearer, wiser. There is a sacred peace in you now, a quiet knowing that whispers, "I was always meant to awaken." This journey through divine chaos was the initiation you didn't know you needed. Through it, you have learned that true grounding is not about standing still, it's about standing steady. You've discovered that faith is not about escaping the storm, but trusting the one who commands it. And you've learned that being chosen is not about being superior, it's about being surrendered. Maybe, in some way, you feel a little lighter now. Maybe the noise of the world doesn't grip you as tightly. Maybe you've begun to sense the rhythm of your soul, moving in harmony with the pulse of something infinite. That's how you know you've crossed over from confusion into clarity. You've stepped out of survival and into surrender. And as you continue to walk this path, remember you were never walking alone. Across this planet, countless other chosen ones are awakening alongside you. Every time you find peace, someone else feels it. Every time you choose faith over fear, another heart is encouraged to do the same. You are part of a symphony far larger than yourself. Together, we are tuning the frequency of the earth back to love, to truth, to light. So, if this message has spoken to your soul, let your heart respond. Leave a comment and share what part of your journey resonated most. Your words might be the very confirmation someone else needs to keep going. If this voice of awakening brings you comfort, insight, or courage, please like this video and share it with others who may need light in their darkness. And if you haven't yet, I invite you to subscribe not for numbers, but for connection. This channel is a sanctuary for those walking the narrow, luminous path of divine awakening. To everyone who supports this space, whether through your presence, your prayers, your messages, or even through super thanks, know that your energy is deeply appreciated. Every act of love here ripples outward farther than you can imagine. You are not just viewers, you are co-creators of this spiritual movement. And now, before you go, take one deep breath. Feel it move through you like a holy wind. Let it remind you that God is closer than your breath, nearer than your heartbeat, and infinitely patient with your becoming. May you be blessed in the coming days with clarity that cuts through confusion, peace that outlasts chaos, and faith that grows stronger with every sunrise. May your path be lit with divine light, and may you always remember you are chosen not to escape the world, but to transform it. The storm has done its work. The awakening has begun, and now your new life unfolds.